Hello, garden friends. It's April the 17th, and I thought we should do a tour of what is blooming in my garden. Now, my garden looks like a construction zone because that's what it is, but I thought I should take a second to enjoy the flowers that are blooming. Welcome to Finding Joy in the Garden. And stick around to the end because I want to show you a flower that literally made me squeal. Now, this flower here is called alyssum. This is the perennial alyssum, and this variety is called gold dust. And to me, this is the flower of spring. This is one of the first flowers that blooms in my garden in spring, and I absolutely adore her. Now, the flowers look like a regular alyssum flower, but these are yellow and it only blooms in spring and then it goes dormant for the rest of the year. So it still has the foliage but not the pretty flowers, and I really wished this was a year-round bloomer because it is so beautiful. I planted this, was it 2 years ago? It takes about 360 days to bloom. I think it says 180 to 360 days. So it didn't bloom the first year, but oh my goodness, she has definitely made up for it since then. Now here I have two groupings and they are kind of upright because I have them in a container. Let me see if I can show. Let's see here. It's grown so big that you can't even see the container anymore, but I put it in a small pot, maybe about this wide, and it has helped it hold up straight. It can also serve as a ground covering, like this one here. It's more spread out because I didn't put this one in a container. So it was one tiny plant I put in here, and over the space of a year it kind of spread out on the ground this way. So if you were looking for a ground cover that can fight back weeds, this might be a good one. I don't know why I don't see this more often in videos. It's a very, very pretty plant, so I thought I'd show you this one today. And over here in this little garden, I have a snapdragon that actually overwintered from last year. And look at all the blooms. These are not open yet, but there's one over here. She fell down. But isn't this the most beautiful flower? It is a very, very, very pretty flower. Look at it. And it's so velvety. So I can't wait for all of these ones to bloom. That was just the very first bloom in April, and I'm so excited. Here's the seed pack if you were interested in getting it. I got these seeds from Baker Creek. The Black Prince Snapdragon. And right next to her is a salvia. Look at that. And I'll put the name on the screen because my memory fails me right now, but that one is pretty. And then right next to her is another one, another salvia, but this one is white, and I'll put the name here as well, or right here, because I can't remember it either. Aren't they pretty? Look at that. My azaleas are also blooming. I don't know how much longer these will last because they've been on for a week and some of them are starting to get a little bleached, but it looks so beautiful. Look at that. There's a red. Look at this bunch. Do you grow azaleas? I think this is one of the reblooming azaleas, and it's funny because last year I didn't even know what these flowers were called. If I didn't mention it, I am new to flower gardening. I can grow tomatoes and peppers, but flowers were never an interest of mine until about 2 years ago, so I'm still learning. Here is another group of azaleas. This is a different color. Let me show you because these things are so pretty. It's pink over here. The detail on these flowers is just ridiculous. I wish there was a bit more light so you could see this better, but I love the way they grow in almost like bunches. And this is another flower I wish would bloom all year. Oh, there's a little bee. You see her? She is going crazy for these flowers. Hi, bee. Yeah, these azaleas are gorgeous, and the colors, it's so vibrant. Let me show you. This one is a bit more in the sun, so you can see her a little bit better. My goodness, let me step back so you can see what it looks like in moss. I am in love. I remember when it bloomed last year and then it went away. I was so sad. It was so sad when it went away. So now I have something I can watch to remind myself how beautiful it was. Now this here, look at this rose. I had no idea this thing was here. No idea. Back here I had a tree. There was some kind of pine tree growing here, and there was another tree here I cut down, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's a rose in here. So there you are. It's a kind of red rose, looking really healthy. And there's another rose on the other side of the garden. Let me take you there. So here is this rose, and I know it's so tall. I know you can cut it down to the ground, but hear me out. I treat this rose as a climbing rose because the top of it I can see from inside my house, and when I'm sitting in the porch here I can also see it. So it's more important to me to be able to see from inside than for it to be short. So I'm not going to cut it back. I love the way it looks. I have one piece falling over there, but I love the way it looks. The flowers are so pretty. And I haven't done much to this rose except prune her. The first time I pruned her was last year, so she went about 4 years without pruning. I do not know the first thing about roses. I haven't even fertilized her, not once. Not once. So if you have tips on growing roses, if you know the name of this rose, let's start with that. Could you leave it in the comment section? All I know is she's a pretty rose. Some of the flowers look more white and some look a bit more yellow, but overall gorgeous rose. And right here is my California poppy, and this is actually overwintered from last year. I just left her in a container and put her back against the wall and covered her with some frost cloth, and she made it. When I moved her out here, I broke some of her roots, so part of it died. It was a full container, but can you see the blooms? I have never grown California poppies ever, or poppies of any kind. And she bloomed a little bit earlier, so this is what's left after the bloom falls, the flowers fall off the petals. And this is a fresh new flower, and they are so pretty. I can't deal with the gorgeousness. Why don't you bloom all year? I'm kind of greedy. Now, these are technically not ornamental flowers. These here, these little dainty beauties, are daikon radish flowers. Aren't they pretty? It started to bloom and I could have pulled it, but I decided, no, I kind of like the flowers. Look at it over there. You can't tell me it's not ornamental because I say it is. And I'm trying to save seeds, as well as I like to eat these little pods. So I grow a radish called the rat-tail radish, and it's my favorite radish to grow. And it doesn't really grow a root or bulb underneath. It grows just flowers and then pods, and you eat the pods, and it tastes just like a radish. And I love that. I have some growing in a container, but they're not grown yet. It's not started flowering yet. So this is my replacement for now. Plus, the flowers are gorgeous. There's another one right there. Look at her. These flowers are just so dainty. I love them. And like I said, a flower is a flower. This is not technically an ornamental, but isn't she ornamenting here? Is she not? Look at her. These are just regular chives, and the flowers are so beautiful. They look a little bit like bachelor buttons. I haven't grown bachelor buttons, but I've seen pictures, and that's what it looks like to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these are pretty. Even just the unopened flower buds are so beautiful. Look at that. And in the same allium family, these are bunching onions, the regular bunching onions, green onions you get from the store. This is how they look when they flower. Look at that. That is so beautiful. These flower heads are just gorgeous. So let me step back so you can see. I have them in one of my beds, and that's what I got. And let me show you over in this bed as well. This is where I plant my okra, and these are also flowering. So pretty. Now I'm gonna walk you across the garden, and if you know the name of this flower, this tree or shrub, please leave me a comment in the comment section. It's done flowering, so the flowers are beginning to fade and fall off, but it was so pretty at its peak, but I do not remember the name of it. And I tried to Google a little bit and see if I could figure out the name, and your girl could not. So if you know what this tree is, please help your girl out and leave the name in the comment section. Thank you. Some more azaleas. These do well in the sun and in partial shade. This part of the garden really doesn't get full sun at any time of the day, or direct sun I should say. It's under a bunch of trees and it's almost always in shade, but look at the flowers. And this was actually one of the first ones to bloom, even though it was in the shade. So azaleas. And this is another one I need your help with. If you know the name of this plant right here, it is past its prime. Most of the flowers have fallen off, but these flowers look almost like a sweet alyssum, but it's on this huge plant, and the stems have this weeping habit. So see how it just seems to fall over like that? That is so beautiful. I do not know the name of this. So experienced gardeners, if you know what this is called, please let me know. Peonies. I've got peonies, and they are sitting here in my construction zone because I pulled them out from a different part of the garden, but I need to share this with you. Come on, look at them. Peonies are such beautiful flowers. Once again, it's a shame that they only bloom once a year, but I think it's absolutely worth it. They are so beautiful, so beautiful. This one is hiding her face. Can we look in? There you go. Can we look in? Can we? There you are. So pretty. Okay, look at this flower. Please tell me you can see this. My goodness. This is the Livingstone daisy. And here's a pack. It says Livingstone daisy pastel mix. And that's from Baker Creek. I saw her this morning, and when I say I yelped, I had no idea she was ready to bloom. I've never grown this before. But oh my goodness, it's such a small plant. Look at that. That's all there is to it. This is it. But look at the flower. And I have another one right here. Oh my goodness. I can't wait for the rest of these to bloom, but I am enamored. I am absolutely in love. And I am so glad I took a second to stop the garden work and just enjoy the flowers that I already have. Ooh, hi baby. If you would like to see how my flower garden looked last year, click on this video, or click on this video that YouTube thinks you would enjoy. Like the video if you liked the video, subscribe for more videos like this, and until next time, may you always find joy in your garden and your life. Bye, garden friend.